Okay, Step Putney in the Creativity Lab. I'm about to prep this denim jacket. You can see it's right here. I have a whiteboard, just a piece of cardboard underneath. So when I paint, it doesn't go through to the surface of the table, unless you don't mind it going through. So I have my surface here, and I have some gesso. If you can see it right here, it's golden gesso. You can use any gesso that you can find. U-Track, any kind of gesso works to just block the surface or to kind of prep the surface of the jacket. I'm going to do this section here. I could do something on the sleeve or somewhere else, but I think for right now I'm just going to do this area. You can play around with also directly painting right on the surface of the denim, but when you use the gesso, it preps it in a really nice way so that the acrylic colors are very bold and vibrant. And like if you wanted to use Sharpie or some kind of permanent marker as well, you could do it right on the gesso. It wouldn't go through the fabric. So it kind of gives it a nice surface to paint on. And I'm just going to stay in this little area here with my gesso. I'm not going to go over these seams. I kind of liked seeing the denim. But you can choose to do it however you want. You could paint the whole jacket in gesso if you really wanted. You could do separate panels. You could do the collar, anything that you want. I just wanted to show you when you're prepping the surface. Oh, I have a hair here. So you want to make sure no hairs are dry into the surface. But when you're prepping it, you just want to make sure there's a nice coating of the white gesso layer. Gesso is Gesso. I'll have a link for you also so you can order it right from the link if you want, or you can just go to the store and pick up some gesso. It doesn't need to be any certain kind. But you're just getting the surface ready. So this takes, I like to leave it overnight to dry. It could take a couple hours. You just want to touch it. If it doesn't come off on your finger, then it's ready. But if you started to paint on it when it was wet, first of all, the colors would get kind of diluted from the white, and it's just better to let the surface dry. But you can get some interesting things happen when you go onto a wet surface as well. So I'm always about experimentation. I never want to say don't do something, but when you're painting, you can always try and see what happens. But for this purpose is to try out the beginning. I always say make an area that you want to paint, and then you can do it with other areas on the front on another day. You just want to let this surface dry. So now I have this nice, you can see this nice surface here that I'm going to paint on tomorrow when it's dry. Just make sure it's all filled in. And I could do the collar right now. I could even do this upper area if I wanted. But I kind of like the shape of this, so I think I'm just gonna leave it. Make sure you always put your, wash your brushes out right away or put them in water, because gesso, once it dries, you won't be able to use your brush again. It's like acrylic. And yeah, so then we'll finish it up tomorrow with your design on the gesso paneled. Okay.